Hello YouTube, this is the HVAC Budget Channel bringing you another tool here. This is the utility knife from Irwin. This is the FK250. Now this is very similar to the Lennox utility knife. I forget they call theirs. I think the 250, but it has other initials going before it. But this is, I believe, just the Irwin brand. There's a Lennox in white, and this is the Irwin in the gray and blue. So this is a really neat utility knife because of this special feature of having the bit driver on the back. Let's start looking at this as just a utility knife. One of the things I wanted to mention is that in this package, one of the things they really try to advertise is the blade locking technology, and it does come with extra utility utility blades in the back here. So they mentioned this 45-degree angle for you to have to depress the button, get the blade out, and put it back in just as a safety feature. So let's try that out. So we close this, and then we can open it a little bit, and that button will not depress. We can take it the whole way out, and this button still is locked in solid, but we bring it back. There's a click, and then you can depress this button actually. There we go. I think that's it. And then you can depress the button and press the button in, and then you can lock the blade back in there. And then it is locked in place. So they have in there 45-degree angle to change that. It is a little bit hard to get used to. I'm not used to utility knives with that technology, but it probably is a safer feature. So you do also notice here there is a cutter blade for stripping wires or cutting rope or paracord. And then you do have this sort of nice edge right here for you to get a grip on the top and also the bottom. The locking is just sort of a simple lock here. You push the spring back and then it folds in. It does have a pretty nice belt clip as well. And then let's move on here to the back, and with this you slide this open, this cover, to get to your extra bit and your extra blade storage. So you can slide this in, and then you can store an extra bit in here. I'll grab one from over here. You can put your 1/4-inch bit, and then it slides right into that spot. So you can keep the extra bit in that storage. Then you also notice that it has a place on the side here for your extra utility blades. Then when you close this, you don't just close it and it locks in place. You have to actually push the button back and then it closes. So on the back here we have the 1/4-inch drive, the bit driver, and it does have two, not really, I guess, locking, but two sections where it is a lot stiffer. So at the back here, you'll notice you can move it. There's a little bit of wobble, but it locks into place fairly well. And I've only had a couple times when this sort of wobbled on me, but it wasn't that big a deal. I did want to mention too, the ergonomics of this really make it a fairly good screwdriver. Just the way this utility knife is shaped, I was surprised that it fit fairly nicely in the hand. And then it really wasn't that hard to get used to turning this as a screwdriver. So it seemed to work out better actually than I anticipated. Now, one of the things I like to do with this is, one of the things I carry is this bit extender, and I enjoyed using this for some of the harder to reach tasks with this, and I was able to get a lot of leverage, pretty much the same as a longer screwdriver. So I was pretty happy with that, pretty pleased with the results. So this actually turned out to be a pretty useful tool. Took this to work with me, used it for the jobs I was on in place of my screwdriver. Tried to test it out to see how good this bit driver actually would work, and I was actually pleasantly surprised. So I did want to finish this up by comparing the width here, the thickness of this, with some other bit drivers. So one of the multi-tools right now I'm testing out is this Byberry 21N1 multi-tool with a bit driver. So this is the thickness of this bit driver, and just as a point of reference, you can see where this Linux bit driver is fairly thick. That's a fairly thick bit driver, fairly chunky piece of metal. It really seems pretty solid. I was a little bit afraid it would start breaking on me when I put a lot of pressure on it, but it held firm, and it seems to be a pretty tough bit driver. Again, I was pretty happy with that. Here's the Gerber, and then it does also, you can get these bit drivers that fit on the Phillips blade here, or the Phillips screwdriver rather. And so when you put these on, and then just sort of as a reference, so you can see that's a little bit thicker, but about the same size actually in thickness. So this is this Linux bit driver is a fairly chunky bit driver, which does help with its durability, but it's not slim at the back by any means, but it's a really nice bit driver. One of the things I do like about it is you can actually store one bit driver in it, so it's ready to go at any time, and I think that's a really nice feature. One of the things that's a little bit frustrating about like Leatherman multi-tool or some of the other multi-tools, or even this Byberry multi-tool for instance, is that they do not really make it so you can store a bit in the driver. So for instance, this multi-tool has really long bits and there is no space to fit that in the driver. So with this Linux, or this Irwin utility tool, it's really nice that you can just fit that in there and that is ready to go, and then that there's an extra one in storage in there as well. So overall, I was really happy with this. Again, this went for about $15 to $20 on Amazon. It goes for about $5 more on eBay. I could not find these in any local hardware store. You may be able to, but I had to buy mine off Amazon. So anyway, very pleased with this. Very nice utility knife. But what I really bought it for was the bit driver, and the bit driver performed very well. All right, that's all for today. I'll see you in the next video. Please make sure to like and subscribe. Thank you very much.